Hey guys, this is Critical Failure. You are listening to Tiger Claw Radio, episode 102. The summer series continues. Today on the show, we got Vintage Video Game Geek. Now, the way I was going to do this was do a half-hour solo, then patch in the Geek with another half-hour bit, and then there's your show. We ran long. We did about 45 minutes or so, which is good. It's a good time. I've been talking to the Geek, messaging with him back and forth for a long time now. We've talked about getting him here on the show for about 3 years or so. Anyway, this is Vintage Video Game Geek on Tiger Claw Radio. All right, we're on with Vintage Video Game Geek. What's going on, man?
Is this really happening?
I think so.
I'm so psyched to finally be on. I've been listening to your podcast for a long time. And,
well, that's cool, man. I appreciate it.
I'm a huge fan of yours and what you do with this show and also what you do with your YouTube show. So thanks for having me on.
I appreciate that. I am also a fan of yours. So you've been recording a podcast, a little program lately.
Right.
With a couple of fellas that we know of, Dinky Dana and John Pio of MAMECADE.
Yes, they're splendid gentlemen.
What can you tell us about that?
Well, we have a podcast. It's called HitResetRadio. And right now we have 4 episodes up. We do it monthly because I think we'd like to do it more often, but it's just really hard to with our schedules and all kinds of stuff going on. Myself and John have kids, and that's really the biggest reason. But yeah, we do a podcast and we talk about all kinds of games from old school console games and also PC games.
I gotta say, if you don't mind me chiming in real quick, that's one thing I really enjoy about your show is that you guys, have kids, and I get to hear that I like kind of the grown-up perspective, from guys who have families and stuff. How'd you get hooked up with these guys? Because I'd spoken to MAMECADE a couple times on YouTube, but I don't think I ever talked to Dinky Dana before.
Well, I mean, I've been watching Dinky's videos probably about as long as that I've known you, and so I had just been following him, and then John kind of came on the scene maybe a year after that or so, and so they're just 2 guys that I've always enjoyed their videos, and we've traded messages back and forth, and we talked on Skype once or twice, not a whole lot actually, but before the podcast came about. But we had been messaging each other, and you kind of get to know people from their videos in some regard.
Yeah.
How it all got started was, well, first of all, we had all been on a couple of different podcasts, All Gen Gamers and Operation Kill Screen, and in my experience, it was just a really fun time being on a podcast, and just it's different kind of a medium, and being able to just converse live with people and talk about games. It was really just a fun thing to do, and so I kind of thought to myself, well, I would like to do that, and I just started to think about who were some cool guys that weren't already committed to a podcast, such as yourself. We try to limit ourselves. We try to keep an eye on the clock, and 2.5 hours is our absolute maximum, and we've only hit that so far. We've just did that once, but we try to stick around an hour and a half to 2 hours. I edit the MP3s and I send them to Dinky, and then he uploads them onto Archive, and then we have an RSS that goes into iTunes. I don't know how it all works, but he handles that.
Yeah, this monthly thing doesn't sound too bad. Weekly schedule is pretty tough to maintain.
Very, very tough to do.
Yeah.
And we find with the monthly, like, we have, by the time a month rolls around, we have tons of content. We actually have to end up cutting stuff out. We never have a problem with content.
I wish it were that way. I got to do 15 minutes on the troubles of changing my socks because I've only played 3 games in the last 7 days.
seriously, thank you for this having me on the show, and been looking forward to it for a long time.
Hey, best of luck with Hit Reset, man.
Thank you.
I'm enjoying it.
We are for sure. We have you on the guest list. I would just ask your patience, as we only do like one a month. And
and you're booked up till September, I think, is the next one.
Well, we also aren't going to have a guest on every single month because.
Well, I'm pretty sure, I gotta check, but I think 2013 is open for me.
Okay, because we're actually got it all planned through the end of it.
Okay.
So that works out pretty well.
Okay.
You know me, I plan very far in advance, and I Lord willing, I hope to be around for a while.
That's how you do it.